Wee, what's going on YouTube? It's Donnie B all day. So, I was looking at a comment that somebody left on another person's comment on a post, and it was of one of the larger variety knives, and the guy was like, "Oh, I carry one of these every day," and somebody chimed in saying, "Well, why? It's not practical. Why would you care? That's just stupid. You're just doing it for shock value." How do you know? You have no idea. They're complete strangers, right? And but everybody seems to have an opinion on somebody else's life, and it makes no sense at all. Because just because something might not be practical for you doesn't mean it's not practical for someone else. You know what I mean? Like, I can walk around and I can carry one of these Kratos knives. It's a OTF box cutter, awesome. But this, for me, if I was carrying this, it wouldn't very much be practical for me because I don't live a life where I need something where I'm constantly cutting boxes and packaging straps. However, if somebody worked in Costco or in the back room at Walmart or Home Depot or something, and they needed a box cutter every day, like constantly, this to be carried would be completely practical for that person. It would be completely useful. The same with when you're talking about a slip joint. A lot of people say, yeah, but it's not practical because if you're doing something, it can close on you. Well, if you're doing this, it can't close on you. It depends what you use it for. If you're someone who likes to whittle or you eat a lot of fruit and stuff like that, this is fan-freaking-tastic. And so practicality and what is practical and what is not practical really comes down to the user, not the use. You know what I mean? So, like, right here, this is my D-Bad scabber, right? I created this thinking about my man Scab over at CCO. This, for the most part, in any normal day situation, would be deemed impractical. Why would you need this? Why would you have? Who cares? If it's somebody's personal preference or personal opinion, this thing is awesome. Then why wouldn't you be able to walk around with something like this on your side and have everybody just mind their freaking business? And it's crazy because I can inflict as much damage with this as I can this, but if I had this or this, nobody would say a thing. But as soon as somebody walks around with some ginormous knife, then they say, oh, well, obviously this person's either up to no good or this and that. But I know with this, I can chop things down. I know with this, I can carve things up. I know with this, I can get everything slicey and dicey the way I need it. But I also know with this that I don't forget. Oh, did I leave my knife somewhere? Oh, where's my knife? I feel it. If I'm carrying something like this on me, it's riding, and I know it's there. So I'm never in a situation where I feel lost without a knife when I'm carrying something like that. And then on the other end of the spectrum, my D-Bad little big man. This is 100% practical for a carry fixed blade. It's small. It's not scary. It gets all the normal cutting tasks I would need done in a very practical package. The problem with the word practical is it's for the individual, right? Everybody, they could say, oh, it's impractical to walk around with a stiletto. You don't need something that can jump out of the top and something. That's just, you're just looking to hurt somebody, or you're just looking to fight. You're looking to cause trouble. That's the only reason you'd have this. It's like the Saturday Night Special. It's only made for killing. No, I use these all the freaking time, like literally all the time. Oh, I'll show you, man. I was just using this one Boom, it's an automatic knife. It's the same as if I used a regular opening knife, which is buried over there. Just a regular folding knife. It's the same, except it presses a button. But I mean, you can see the tip there is all scratched up. I have these screen windows that have these weird things and they lock up, and you have to get it out, you have to reach something in there and pull it down and then line it. I was using this knife, a Schrade Auto Open, to do that. I was bending metal and grinding through this steel screen with that. And guess what? It was completely practical. And then they'll say, oh, yeah, but you don't need, it's impractical to carry around some $1,000 pocket knife. Why? If I use my knife, then it's practical to me. It doesn't matter how much a knife costs. Like you'll see a lot of people, they get collector's knives, a knife that people would just store because it's something that, you know, it costs a lot of money. You don't want to ruin it. You're not ruining it if you're using it as a regular knife. So it really bummed me out to see these two guys kind of, they didn't really go at it, but it was just this conflict where one guy just couldn't mind his own business and one guy just carries a knife. And just because it's a large knife, somebody had to have their opinion on it. And somebody had to believe that, well, if you're carrying that instead of this, then there's something wrong with you. No, there's something wrong with you. If you have to, it's the difference. I carry all the time. I carry something like this. It's a 22 Magnum. Even when I go hiking and I'm out and about or just walking the dog around the property, I use this. And that's a 22 long rifle. And people say, oh, it's not practical. I mean, it has no takedown power and this and that. It doesn't matter. What I'm using it for, I don't care. I'm not out bear hunting. So I don't have to worry about that. So what some people deem practical might be practical for what they need it to be used for. Where some people deem something impractical, you know, walking around with one of those, they might not have any idea what the other person's life is. They don't know how they live. They don't know what's comfortable for them. They don't know if they just like the look. It doesn't matter. This is very, very practical, right? This off-grid right here, the Scorpion, this one I believe is the V2. This is insanely practical. It's equally practical. It's equally practical to this. I mean, pretty close to the same blade shape, right? One shoots out like this. One opens manually and closes manually. So one would be deemed more practical over the other, but they both do the same exact job. So if you're one of those guys out there who listens to people tell you what you should feel and what you should carry and what you should believe, tell them that I said it's okay for you to say, bite my ass. Because what's practical for you doesn't have to be practical for them. As long as you like it, you can use it, it's safe for you, then that's all that matters. As long as it's not going to hurt somebody else on accident, like, you know what I mean? If you put a gun on the table, it's not going to shoot up a room, right? It's one of those things where as long as if the blade is really loose and can fly off, and every time you pull it up, it goes, okay, that's impractical. That's impractical. You can end up hurting somebody you don't mean to. But if it's a safe piece that you can control, that you can use, whether it's 45 inches long or 3 inches long, it really doesn't matter. Size matters. It really doesn't matter when it comes to practical knife use. The practicality is going to be on what you prefer. Like if I have to go and chop down some mesquites in my yard, and I'm not going to bring this. It's impractical for that. I'm going to bring one of them. And I'm going to get the job done. And if people say, why do you have that big knife on you? Oh, I got to go cut down some trees. Okay, well, that makes sense. But if you don't ask me, if you just see it and assume, that's on you, right? So, I don't know. I just wanted to come to the defense of a comment. Because for someone to go on a knife video of a large knife and say, oh, yeah, I carry one of those all the time. And as a matter of fact, it was right there. I don't know if you guys can see it. right, boom, right there. It's my version of the Crocodile Dundee knife, and he carried that as his EDC, and somebody had issue with it. So somebody who doesn't know him, somebody who just wanted to get in somebody's business, had issue with somebody that had a different preference than theirs. But if that person was carrying around this, we'd say, well, what are you going to do? Hijack a plane? Because that's what they use. Stupid. Stupid, stupid, stupid. So mind your business. Yes, any knife is practical. Yes, any knife can be impractical. It just depends on the user and the use. So don't feel bad about carrying a big knife. If people give you strange looks, who cares? That's just their own insecurities attacking them internally. That's it for this one. I am Donnie B all day. Till next video.